What's up, anyone that is watching? My name's Blake. This is the awful name Security Clearance Podcast. Day 11 on the quarantine. I think it's day 11. In actual days, it hasn't been that many. It is days since exposure 11. So, this came out the other day. It is I believe a page 13. This is guidance on my quarantine. It is from my staff sergeant at the emergency department, who I work under, and it's basically the guidelines. I could have used this a little earlier, but we weren't expecting this. All right. It says key points of discussion. Due to recent developments with the COVID-19 virus, quotes, parentheses, quotes, coronavirus, end of quotes, parentheses. Increased precautions to prevent the spread of infection will be taken. Standard precautions of regular hand hygiene and use of gloves remains in place. It's a normal thing we do. In addition, you will wear a surgical mask, face mask, for any and all interaction with any patient. If the patient is suspected of possible COVID-19, you will wear full PPE, parentheses, gown, N95 mask, eye protection, gloves, and shoe covers. All patient interactions will be charted no matter how minimal. So that meaning even if you walk into the room, you have to find space on that piece of paper that says, I went and did whatever, which is tedious. In the event you are put on home quarantine post exposure, you will ensure you remain at home. No leaving of your residence is authorized unless under direct order of a physician, public health official, or SEL, senior enlisted leader. People who live in your home are not restricted or on quarantine and can continue their normal routines. To protect those who live with you, you will remain. I read that wrong. To protect those you live with, you will remain a 6 feet distance from others. Prepare your own meals. Regularly clean the surfaces of your home and wash your hands regularly. Wear a face mask when in the same room as others. You will also report your body temperatures daily to the SEL NLT no later senior enlisted no later than 0800 each day. Failure to follow these guidelines or any willful behavior to put yourself at risk in order to be put on home quarantine will be met with immediate UCMJ action. That's the military's court system. The judge and jury is all like basically one thing. Precautions and practices are ever evolving during this time. As new guidance is put out by the CDC, we will keep you informed. Take all direction from your leadership, and if you have any questions, ask. So that's from my staff sergeant. She is awesome. I believe she wrote this up herself. She sent it to us. We didn't sign it. I think usually like things like this we sign. This is to their troop command. She's Army, as you hear I say staff sergeant. We're Navy. It's just I think a flip of the coin whether I think it's a flip of the coin whether a department is Navy or Army run. Our commander of the hospital right now is a captain, full bird captain in the Navy. He runs our hospital, or he's in charge of our hospital and Bethesda, and I believe that's also called Walter Reed, though it could be mistaken. Yeah, This is all public knowledge. Right after the patient was diagnosed, some of our civilian nurses were like, all right, let's just keep it on the hush. Let's not tell anyone. And then someone, it was the weekend when it happened, someone off shift text us with a screenshot saying reports from this hospital. And I won't flat out say the name of the hospital, but reports from this hospital, corona tested positive, blah, 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 blah. And then a day or so later, I think it was that Monday, we got a phone call from the hospital, automated system, talking about, the coronavirus. Some people were exposed, they're on quarantine, us. And then it's like this automated, like Siri type voice. And it's like, it's okay to be a little scared and take all precautions, yada, yada. And I got another one today. And it talks about how if you work at the hospital, you can only take this one entrance to go into the hospital in order to screen for coronavirus or weed anyone out. It's, I don't know. I understand. I do understand. But let me tell you this. I was exposed to the patient 11 days ago, maybe 12 days ago. I kissed and loved and hugged on my son and wife before we had any idea that this was a thing because he hadn't been diagnosed yet. He came in on a Tuesday. Someone handed me his chart and they said, go take care of your Marine. He was a Marine. He had recently been out of the country. I didn't really know that all at the time. But I go in, I chat him up, I draw his blood, he coughs quite close to me while in the room. I take him down to X-ray, I take him to CT, someone else takes him to ultrasound. I don't know if he went to, but I go back in the room, I hook him up to his fluids, I do everything, and then I pick up a random chart to discharge. I didn't really look at the room number, and it's him. I discharge him, and he's got a rash. That's what they diagnosed him with. Come Friday morning, 6:45 changeover. Shortly after the changeover, we're talking about coronavirus. I was bitching on the last one about these nurses just being clueless. And I'm not saying all are. I'm just saying the certain particular one nurse I'm thinking of just asking a bunch of questions that I thought anyone with any sort of degree, even someone as low as me, could answer. He comes in that night, Thursday night. He's there all the way till Friday morning. We need a, blood draw. Go in the room, get a blood draw. Oh, how you doing? Person. Me again. Oh, hey, get a blood draw. Then after that, found out, oh, he's suspected malaria. I was like, well, been nice to know. Then Saturday comes along, positive. Now, I say all that. To say this. Per guidance, I'm supposed to wear a face mask, not go within 6 feet of my family. We're not coughing. We don't have a fever. Nothing's going on. The dude coughed on me. I was around him a lot, twice. Not twice, but I was around him a lot once, and then I was around him again. Some dude came on Joe Rogan talking about people are easily infected or easily carriers, but they don't show symptoms. That might be the case. Hey, maybe you come within a radius of my house or my AC system and you're old, you're going to get the coronavirus and degrade, but I don't see it right now. I'm no doctor. I'm no nothing. But it would seem to me that if I have it or I'm carrying it, it's not affecting me. It's not affecting my wife or my son. And I know we don't have at-risk symptoms. We don't have at-risk physiology. We don't have upper respiratory issues. We don't smoke. We're all healthy. We're below 55. We don't have compromised immune systems. So I don't know. I think a lot of it's smoke. But I understand that a lot of people don't have healthy upper respiratory systems, that don't have healthy immune systems, that are above 55, that will deteriorate, that are smokers, that will not make it out if they get the flu real bad. And that's what I've been told this is. It's a flu, a bird flu. Apparently it came from a bat. I don't know. It came from China. It's a cesspool over there. So many people. So many people. So, I don't know. It kind of stinks that we got that guidance so later, but is what it is. I'm doing fine. I got a little worried because the last podcast I did, talking a lot, my mouth got a little weird, but I was like, oh no, am I getting a sore throat? Do I have upper respiratory infection? You get all weird. But, cheers. My dog hit over my microphone. I'm glad it's working. These are weird. I watched the last one and a little bit of the other two I put up. It's just weird. My wife was asking me because I drilled in this whiteboard over here by my home gym. And she's like, what were you doing down there? And I was like, making a podcast. I was like, oh, you're talking about that. And then later she's like, you made a podcast? I was like, yeah. She's like, I want to see it. I was like, well, there's no problem with you seeing it. It's just that all these YouTube channels say, please like and subscribe. Yeah, that would be cool. Leave a comment below. Yeah, that'd be great, but this shit's weird, man. This shit's odd. So, yeah. I told her just watch it and don't tell me anything about it. Too fragile. It's not I'm too fragile. It's just that, like in the first video I ever posted, like I end it with like scene, and like these two chicks at work or two women at work are just like, oh, and it's like, okay, I get it. It's funny. It's easy to make fun of someone. It's easy to judge, and I'm not saying it didn't really hurt my feelings or anything, but they just like kept doing it, and one of them. Flowers, one of them was the one telling me to do it, telling me to do the podcast. So it's just odd. Any criticism's odd, especially when it's so detached. When you're trying to make something or you're just making something. I'm not putting too much effort into this, but like this shit did cost money. I did have to troubleshoot this. I am putting myself out there in a way. So it's a weird thing. And especially like last time, I have to keep the, I guess, a little briefer. I have to keep this somewhat brief. Because last time I was just ranting, drinking, late. And the fucking thing cut off probably like halfway. My phone died. So, and in order to make these special cables work, I have to get a special like $45 adapter so I can charge my phone at the same time as keep this mic on and record everything. I want to get into editing. The cool thing is, I don't remember if I'm repeating myself or not, but the cool thing is I can watch a YouTube about anything. About video editing. Today I was troubleshooting trying to get the iCloud. Poop on the cloud, man. I don't dig it. Trying to get my cloud freed up because they wanted like $9. $9 for me to store shit in a place. And I just YouTube that shit. And some of it's very unprofessional, but they still get the point across. And it's a pretty good deal. And then some people make extra money on top of the thing they're already doing. Like I watch a lot of wood turning, carpentry, wood turning, or fine table making, or just like chopping up huge logs of wood, and I find it interesting. Or restoration. People do this, especially the table makers, and they make a lot of money on the table, but they also now take the time to record themselves, edit the video, put it up, and then they make advertisement money off of YouTube. So that's pretty cool, even if this is such a minimal thing. No effort right at this moment, but potentially if I'm just in my Navy career doing whatever and I just get on here and be like, "What fucking this pisses me off," and I don't violate any sort of, laws with the military, then and I make whatever any money at all, fucking thumbs up. So kind of on that, my brother back in Louisiana knows a lot of people. My brother Chris. And he knew a representative of the Budweiser people, the beer. And we live about 45 minutes away from New Orleans. And one of these people at this Budweiser, there's a big plant in Louisiana, like 30 minutes away, 25 minutes away from where we live. And so there's a big plug-in with Budweiser, Anheuser, whatever it's called. And some reason they approached him and asked him to be the DJ for their tailgating party for the Saints. And I remember going over to my brother's house and he's got all this equipment. Like nothing like huge, but he's got like DJ equipment. And he spent money on it. I was like, oh man, like, are you going to make your money back? He's like, I already have. I made it back like the first time I did any money. Anything with them at that show, and it's just literally hitting a. I mean, I don't want to talk shit, but I'm pretty sure it's just him hitting play on an iPad and having a presence and not freezing up around people, which he never would. But it's just yeah. So if I make $250 off of anything related to this podcast, I'm in the black. There's like red and there's green. I don't know what's in the middle, which is just making that right down the breaking even. So it's fun. My wife asked me, she said, "Oh, I thought you don't like social media." I don't. I don't know if I consider this social media. I think this is just media. And I guess I'll get into it. I was thinking about it the other day, maybe this morning, about what this is. YouTube. We don't really consume books as much, as sad as it is. We don't really consume books as much. But there's these huge libraries, and books are great. They're great. But there's these huge libraries where you can go and you can check out a book, man, for a long time. And there's such forgiveness with a library. And I think the fees are like cents or a few dollars. And you bring book, you can get DVDs, all this stuff. And what was going on in my head is that YouTube still allows people like me who have, my friends are the only one that has a subscription to my channel, like 3 people, and potentially I can make money. Potentially people can make money off of advertisements, off of whoever wants to advertise. I think you can kind of dictate. And they ask you all these questions like, is this kid friendly? I'm like, no. I mean, I say fuck a lot, And so they're kind of guiding how they can advertise with the Average Joe's podcast or video they upload. So what's interesting is people learn off of this a lot. If I need to learn how to tie a tie, I just get on Google real quick, or YouTube, which is owned by Google. And it's almost to the point where this is a library. I mean, by definition, there is a library in it. But it's like, what's the go-to? What to fix my computer, to this microphone? Like, research is done. I do research pretty much on every product I buy. Almost. Unless it's at like a pawn shop or it's free or just on a whim. But those things usually turn out shitty. So my guitar right there, my computer right there, the little grill I just bought, that thing right there, like all these things I just do extensive research, and guess what I use? YouTube. And it's almost to the point where it's like I kind of understand where the government kind of wants to step in and say like I see both aspects. I'm no socialist, but I'm seeing where it almost should be public. It almost should be in schools. Almost. I, it's so hard. It's so hard though. It's so hard to say that this bajillion dollar company should just hand over it to the government in order to make it ad free or whatever. And you know the government's gonna put ads in it. But like PBS almost, where it's just like, okay, this is the government channel, you know. So I don't know. And then on the other end, it's such a useful tool. It's free for everyone, but you just get these ads stuffed down your throat, and then Bloomberg's a billionaire. Whatever you want to say about him, he overloaded YouTube with ads. I think he dropped out. I don't think he's doing it, but whatever, whatever. So it's an interesting thing. And then people are like, whoa, you don't need YouTube. You just need people to use the government. Da da da. And it's like, it's gonna suck. You know, Google's dumping money, money into YouTube in order to get you to come back, in order to get you scrolling. The scrolling thing is a thing that Instagram, Facebook, they all adopted the scroll. You get a little dopamine every time you go a couple inches on the scroll, and then what's the next thing? And then it's like, I'm not gonna keep going. 45 minutes later. 45 minutes later, you're still on that shit. So, yeah, it's a weird thing. Interesting thing. I hope this doesn't go away. I hope YouTube allows people like me to try it out, Don't mean to quote your mom's house, but yeah, yeah. If I can go back to Apple. Apple's cool, but boo iCloud. Boo what I'm doing over here with my computer. I spent a good hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe even 3, trying to clean up my iCloud. I finally deleted something that freed up some space. I don't know what it was specifically. And then I have an old laptop I had uploaded to a hard drive because the laptop shot. It's totaled, which by definition means it would cost more money than a new vehicle to fix the laptop. More money to just buy a new laptop than it would be to fix that. So I had it uploaded to a hard drive, and then I upload that laptop to my computer. It's all Mac. Mac's supposed to work together. But on the hard drive, I click on my photos, and it deletes all my old photos. All my photos currently. And then I plug in my phone, I download all my photos again, and it's also on the cloud, which I guess is alright. And then it uploads it all. Well, then I detach the hard drive with my old shit on it, and the photos aren't working. And so I put it back in, I download the shit again, and then I merge it all together, and then I get rid of one thing, and then it deletes everything again. It's like, I just wrote on the hard drive itself with a Sharpie, like, old MacBook, got photos on it, threw it in a drawer. Cool. I don't know. Spent a lot of time, and it's supposed to all merge together. On some PCs, I feel like I could have done that, though I'm a little out of touch on that shit, but I don't know. What's trippy is seeing how good of shape I used to be in the Marine Corps. There's shit going on, but, you know, I boozed a little bit back then. Especially towards the end. Really, really good shape. I don't know if I expressed that. I don't know if that got cut off. That, I was running a lot. I was doing tons and tons and tons of Olympic lifts. And I had this very good physique. I feel like I was faster. I believe I was about 180, 187. I told myself that if I ever go back to buds, I will be 170 pounds. And that, dude, if y'all saw me at 170 pounds, you wouldn't recognize me. I'm like 235 right now. Not a great look for you, boy. But I gotta blame that. I mean, ultimately it's my fault, but my environment's not great with working in a fucking hospital, man. There's no sense of urgency in order to be in shape besides the 2 times a year we're weighed and put to the test. So it's lethargic. They started implementing PT programs into our, departments we work in, and so now on a day we work, we don't PT on our off days, but on a day we work, it's a 12-hour shift. We have 30 minutes of PT, which fucking isn't enough, but I'm not gonna say anything about it. 30 minutes of PT, which means we have to get there, you know, we gotta wake up. I got a 30-minute drive. I gotta wake up usually around 4:30. Maybe I'll wake up at 4, dick around, but I have to leave the house at 5 in order to get to the gym at 5:30. Promptly start exercising at 5:30, which usually doesn't happen. I try and do 30 minutes of cardio unless dictated otherwise. And then we have to go to the hospital, and there's like a designated little locker room, one shower. It's super awesome that the toilet's in the same thing as the shower, so if you poop, it's got a sweet shit smell while you shower. But I go down to the basement, I shower, usually take too long, and like get there like right on time. Sometimes when I'm shift lead, I have to kind of like either really pull everybody, not pull everybody together, but really task everyone out on getting everything done, because usually shift changeover shit's supposed to be done before the 45 and not after. But yeah, yeah. What are you gonna do? But yeah. And then there's always a special occasion where there's cake or fat food in the break room. Always, always. Someone's birthday. Hey, and I'm not saying don't celebrate your birthday, but it's like, good God, man. What it reminds me of is the end of the year when it's Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's, and it's like almost all these excuses. It's like, oh, no, no, no. Like, dude, fucking give up. I think, and this is a very unagreeable opinion, I know. I think put fucking Thanksgiving in like August or something to to give us a break on like how many holidays we get, man. Like, spread it apart. I don't think there's one. My birthday's on August. I don't think there's one holiday in August. Put Thanksgiving in August. Make it a summer holiday where we barbecue or some shit. I don't know. But fuck, man, it's hard to sustain a good. And I know there's people out there that are fit. They're like, you fucking fat piece of shit. I know, but fucking get rid of daylight savings and split up those heavy holidays at the end of the year. If you work in a hospital, you really only get one. I only got to go home for Thanksgiving. Luckily, my family could come out here. Some of my family came out here. But fuck that shit. You're trying to, get it together, dial it in, and then you have fucking Thanksgiving. The whole holiday is about eating. And then you have Christmas, which is like multiple days because family comes into town for that. Thanksgiving's a little different. Some people do come into town for Thanksgiving, but not as long, you know. Christmas people come in, it's like, you're drinking, you're drinking, you're eating. This person's gonna cook this day. We're gonna do a special breakfast that day, and it's awesome. I love it all. But with Thanksgiving, literally 30 days before, it's like, come on, y'all. Come on. And then 5 days after is the drinking holiday of the year, which is New Year's. It's like, come on now. Come on. Like, let's, and, I've been that guy at times that's like, no, I'm dying. I've recently at the emergency department, like, no, I'm dieting. And they're like, oh, you're Debbie Downer. You're antisocial. No, no, no. I'm like, yeah, I know. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me celebrate every waking moment with you of your life, so you can feel significant. Any hizzle. Yeah, but there's these photos of me being a douchebag, like taking photos of myself in front of the mirror. I think some of that's good for yourself to like, you can check in or look back at it. If you're single, just go ahead and send it. I never was a dick pic guy, but I know people that just dick and balls, and they just fucking send it to every female, and they don't hear back from any of them except one, and they just hold on to that one's phone number. And kudos, 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 good for that guy. Yeah, so if I can get back down to weight, it's not gonna do it drinking this shit. If you don't know, this is a Moscow Mule. Moscow Mule has ginger beer in it, which is basically fucking soda. Some people are like, oh, I don't know why I'm gaining weight, just I drink liquor, man. It doesn't have much sugar. I'm like, oh, what do you drink your liquor with? Coke? Oh, okay. I don't know. I was a real bro. I am a bro. I was a real bro science dude. Like, I deleted some shit off my computer, and it's like bodybuilding, and I clicked on it. It's like Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, all these dudes. And I used to like study the movements they were doing in their videos. I used to, just watch this shit, especially when I was getting out. Tried to isolate myself because a lot of Marines at that time weren't doing anything worthwhile. They're just drinking, do a bunch of shit. So I kind of locked myself away in my barracks room, which I shared to myself, and just watched videos. Worked out, ran about 6 miles a day, and then I would go to the gym and do my Olympic lifts, and I would do a kind of a ketogenic diet. I didn't know what it was called. I thought it was called like carb cycling or something, where like 2 days would be like real strict and clean, like just kind of the typical diet, like salad and grapefruit and stuff like that, lean meats, no sugar, which is great, and I think it's sustainable. And then on the third day, which would be my heaviest workout, I would do like pizza, or I would test out like grilled cheese or ice cream. Ice cream was the worst performance day I've ever had. I tried to do ice cream as like my cheat meal, and then I turned it into like a cheat day. And I got really, really good results off of all that shit. Really, really good. And then I got into cooking and doing some stuff. I'm just going to check the camera real quick. Make sure we're on track. We got a little bad time. Yeah, okay. Last time I was spitting straight gold, and cut me off. Fucking battery. I'm also getting a little tired of these. Good thing I'm towards the end of the vodka. Originally, I was supposed to go back to work on the 17th. My corpsman exam is on the 19th. I'm not going to work till the 23rd, I believe. Just like 3 weeks of quarantine, which is insane. So, I got some time. I need to start cutting back on the sugar and carbs and shit. And give that weight room more love. I don't know if I'm destined to do Jui-Jitsu, It's like the kind of lame, but like I'm not destined. Like the cards are stacked against me, whatever you want to say. So the first, I'll start with this. My wife got me a month membership to a jujitsu, an esteemed jujitsu place called 50/50, and she got it for me for Christmas. It was pretty expensive, and my brother's a purple belt. I've done jujitsu a little bit. I'm a white belt. Every time I'm planning on going to do it, something happens. For instance, I hurt my wrist during right during Christmas, doing something dumb. I have a box of saline, which has bags of saline in it. And I said something to a dude that actually has a real broken wrist, that got his broken wrist from slamming his hand when he was mad at his girlfriend. It was such a lame thing. But I take this box, I throw it on the ground. I was like, if you really want to get out some aggression, you just fucking punch the shit out of these things. And you can punch these boxes and they give way. And then I take it and I do this nasty side punch thing like this. And it hurts my wrist. I'm pretty sure I fractured. I don't know. I didn't get an x-ray. I like to think I'm a tough dude. But like when I go pick up my cast iron skillet, it kind of like, ooh, that hurts. And so when I was doing cleans, it hurt. And so I laid off it. I'm like, all right, I'll go to jujitsu once my wrist heals up. And it's pretty good now. Then I have this growth on my shoulder. Turns out it's a lymphoma. And one of my ER doctors helped me out and gave me a referral, dermatology schedules, go to it. Okay, we'll cut this out. And so they open up all the way down to the muscle. They take it out, they cauterize, they sew it back up, and they're like, all right, it's going to put you out for 2 weeks. No PT, nothing, 2 weeks. Like, seriously. I was like, oh, what about running? Because, tattoos are like, you can go run, just don't get any, like, fungus on your tattoo. No, don't run. I don't want this to fucking open up and become a cavity that's hard to heal. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, got this procedure done. While I'm stationed at the hospital, I should probably get it done, because it's going to be a big pain in the ass anywhere else I go. So get it done, 2 weeks, and then that heals up. And then I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu, but it's a month long continuously, right? So if I start it and then I go home to Louisiana, well then I'm time's ticking on that, potential money. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it when I come back from Louisiana. And then, not really thinking, I thought about it, but I got my tattoo worked on. I was like, ah, shit. All right, I'll do jiu-jitsu after my tattoo heals up. Well, guess what? My tattoos heal, and I'm on fucking quarantine from the coronavirus. So I don't know. I know I need to use it before October when I PCS, but shit, goddamn. Sorry, Mom, but man, I just can't seem to make it in there. I did, however, buy 2 new gis, because my old gis don't really fit me because I'm fat. I got a Fuji one, which is pretty nice. It's like kind of a competition. Everything's really like, there's no sharp edges on it, so to speak. There's no like rough areas. Apparently it's a competition one, but I don't know if it's compatible. It's like a dark navy blue, and I know there's like blue, white, or black. And then I got this gray one for $45, and it's like a light gray compared to my dark gray one. And yeah, it should do. It should do. I'm not. So I got these gis. I can mix and match whatever the fuck I want. I'm sure the instructor will be fine with that, so long as I don't roll into 50/50 with a Gracie United gi. I know that's kind of the particulars of them, is they don't want you to like straight up rep another gym inside their gym, and I understand that. So yeah, I'll get it done, but it's just like, fuck, man, I could be doing something. And that's what goes through my mind. And that's what, people don't understand. Like, oh, it must be nice. Like, tell you what, Foxworth cooped up in an apartment for the past few days and potentially for the next 3 weeks. That fucking sucks. Again, I have a balcony. I have, a patio. I have a walkway to take my dog out. Like, ugh, that would suck. That would suck real bad. So, um, yeah, my family's healthy. Talked to my wife about all the going. We both had a very stressful day and then met, and things didn't go well right when we met at the end of our stressful days. We patched it all up, and then we were talking about, we would all be presenting symptoms by now. It was actually her that said it. I was still a little bit more precautious to, be around my son, and then it is what it is. Like, I mean, day 11, they would be showing just like me if I had anything. And we all took our temperatures, and so no one's coughing, no one's having any issues. I think we're clear. I think I probably do have it in my body, but I don't think it's affecting me. Um, yeah, theory might have it that I work in a place full of sick people that in my body might build up immunity. Some people might say that's fucking asinine. I don't know. Yeah, I thought about calling this podcast the Unprofessional Podcast. And like, how Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn, I was just watching, have like this big table you talk across from. And like having like, wiping mustard off your face and like making room. And they're like, oh, sorry, I was just eating a sandwich. And you got like a half-eaten sandwich with crumbs on it. And you're using a newspaper as a napkin. And you're like, oh, you want part of this sandwich? And like, no, I just want to do the interview. I'm like, okay, hey, welcome to the Unprofessional Podcast. This is your host, me. So yeah, our advertisers is money orders. Send me Venmo, and I that's how I can and to be honest, be completely honest, a little bit of that is hey, subscribe to my Patreon and get the full of it. And like, no, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I understand you're on a beef with YouTube because you say things they don't like. Well, so be it. I'm not going to your Patreon. I never will. I'm not going to pay you money. Somehow, some way you're making money. You be alright. You be alright. So, who ya and shit. If only like alcohol was good for you, you know? Like I think it, I don't do it, but in the morning sometimes I drink water, but in the morning I'm drinking coffee. I'm chugging. Not chugging, but I'm drinking like 36 ounces of coffee. How do I come up with that? Because my coffee pot makes 36 ounces. Um, that's a lot of fucking coffee. And it's like, man, I wish this was water because you're supposed to drink a lot of water all the time, especially in the morning. And I don't do it. I don't do it. You know, sometimes I do, and when I do, I feel great. When I do have everything click, and it starts with one thing. It starts with, you know, brushing your teeth, being a little bit more thorough, cleaning up a little bit. That brushing your teeth leads to getting to bed on time. That getting to bed on time leads to waking up on time and not hitting snooze. That means leads to a more productive day. You know, brushing your teeth means, oh, I gotta get to the bathroom around this time. I have to have my clothes ready at this time. I need to wash my clothes at this time. I need to make sure when I come into the house I do that immediately and I don't put it off. Because I've been in the situation as an adult that, fuck, I forgot to put the clothes in the laundry that I have to wear tomorrow. And I have to stay up till late at night to make sure those get washed and dried. fuck, man. So, these things, it's a snowball effect in one way or the other. In like one way or the other. Snowball effect in good. You're brushing your teeth, you're setting your schedule, you're getting to bed, you're doing your chores, you're getting everything done. Or this happens to me the same way. I go on vacation, I start drinking, I come back, I still like drinking, eating, staying up a little late, not really digging the workflow because I'm like, ugh. And then, you know, the reversal effect, a little bit of slacking. I don't know. I know you have to be passionate. And just watching the podcast with Theo Vaughn and TJ Miller. And TJ Miller was talking about, a guy that works for an insurance company and about how he could either just be like, oh, getting through his life, and then when he retires, he goes on cruise ships all the time. Or he could approach it mindfully and say, I provide a service for people, for them to feel safe. If something goes wrong, they can have money to take care of themselves and their family while they get their life back together, hence insurance. And then, once they retire, all they really want to do in life is to like eat unlimited seafood and go see cool places and go there in a leisurely way, not be stressed about getting on an airplane. So, take a cruise ship there. It's like, oh, fuck. Now, I talked to a guy at work, a nurse, a Marine like me. He was that Pogue life, self-admitted. But he talks to me about like Buddhism and mindfulness, and he's like just getting into that. He's talking about like, oh, I want to try mushrooms, and I'm just like, maybe help you with that, but that's a tricky. I don't think I can help you with that because it's not worth trying to help someone with that. Like, hey man, if you want to do that, I'm not gonna sit here and go snitch on you. But be careful because people will go snitch on you. And if you want to do that, me, enlisted person, sir, officer, sir, I can't really help you with that because that's too risky, even though that would be a cool thing for you to do and you probably would get some enlightenment from it. But he talks about, this Buddhist way, which I dig, mindfulness, meaning of life, yeah, etc. Yada yada, etc. And I tell him like, well, I came to that crux in the road. I came to that crux on the road during mental breaks because I took acid. Remember that security clearance thing we talked about? And my epiphany was over and over and over and over and over again, which was so overwhelming, was that I want to be outside. I want to work, and meaning work with my hands for a living, not saying that someone that works inside doesn't, but I want to live a more outdoorsy lifestyle, lack of a better word. I want to absorb the sun, which I know is good for you. I believe in defending what's right to defend with extreme circumstances, which is being a warrior. What's the ultimate warrior? Well, I think there's honor in these special forces. I was in the Marine Corps. I have friends that are in Marine Corps Special Forces, and they suggest, for the most part, back then, that the Marine Corps is the Marine Corps. I already have a taste for it, and that still goes into their Special Forces-ness. So my epiphany was, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. My friend became a Navy SEAL as I was becoming a Marine. I always talked about him. I always thought of it as the next level. I met his friend and I spent 2 months with his friend from the teams. And we talked about Navy SEAL and Marine Corps stuff the entire time we were together, which was on the Appalachian Trail. So my epiphany is I want to get paid to shoot guns. I want to get paid to jump out of planes. I want to get paid to go deep into the ocean. I want to get paid to think like a detective, to come up with war tactics, to be fit, to be to challenge yourself. So I wanted to be when I was in the Marine Corps, we got a guy. I didn't necessarily shoot the guy, but I definitely encouraged the mission that we went on. Some shit was going down in the area, things were popping. We had dumbass sergeant. We got him to stay behind and man the radio. Dickerson was, our Snap 2 team leader at the time. We leave the wire. We go out there. Buddy Aleo caps him. Dickerson comes up next, shoots the guy when he's grabbing for his gun. I walk up, do my dead checks. I wanted to shoot him, but I didn't. And, some sporadic fire goes off. I respond with the machine gun. We leave the area, can't take the body with us. We have to go back to the body, take photos, and then we go back and our lieutenant's there and we're like, we fucking killed a guy. And our lieutenant sucked, so we really wanted to rub that in his face. So I did that, and then later on in life, almost immediately in life, my brother dies, and when I took these hallucinogens, I thought that was connected. I don't think it really was, but it was a gnarly thing I was going through. So when I decided I wanted to go be a warrior again, not saying I wasn't a warrior, no, I wasn't, but I wanted to re-enlighten this warrior shit, warrior thing. I wanted to be the epitome. I wanted to be honorable. The SEALs have a gold trident. Even enlisted wear gold, which is pretty meaningful, and that's because they go through with officers. So enlisted wear this big fat old gold Budweiser. They do all things. So, not talking shit, but Army doesn't really go in the water. Marine Corps goes in the water, but SEALs, that's their shit, going in the water. Well, they also jump out of planes. They also fight in the mountains. They also do explosives. They do everything. And I got to know these people in this community. I used to hang out with my best friend, and they were all very welcoming. They were all very bro. I just talked to a chief who's in SARC, which is the corpsman for the MARSOC, Marine Corps Special Operations Command. And he was telling me that I might like being a corpsman for them in that community because the SEALs he's met are a little too bro, are a little too hang loose, dude. A little unprofessional, basically, is what he was saying. Well, there's the polar opposite of that, which is the Marine Corps, which is just fucking, oh my God, tone it back a little bit. We get it. So, I was thinking earlier as I was doing dishes, is man, I've always thought this, I wonder how it would go because I didn't go to boot camp, but I was at Navy boot camp. I in-processed at the facility. I was like, man, their shit is they keep them indoors for a while. Their shit is it's gloomy, and that's their. And these guys in the 800 series, which are people heading towards special programs. One of them being SEALs, the other being SWIC. I think EOD and something else. I'm not sure exactly. So these people that are in these special boot camp divisions, their punishment is not working out. Their punishment is sitting there where everybody else is in the boot camp's punishment, just like, every other boot camp in the fucking military, is punishment is PT, physical training. And so these 800 division people, their punishment is sitting still because it would encourage them to do the wrong thing in order for them to do extra push-ups. I'm like, that's got to be wrong. That's got to be wrong. And so my thought is either make that 800 division be a division at Marine Corps Depot, Recruit Depot, Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego, right next to Coronado. Have them go through all the Navy classes, but just make it a hardcore boot camp. Have whatever the Navy drill instructors are called. I did know at one time what they're called. I can't think right now. Have them go through Marine Corps drill. Make them more elite, and then see if that translates to higher success rate than 20% in SEALs. Because I can tell you, I feel like I would have had a better chance of making it towards the end of the Marine Corps just because of mentality. Not necessarily because I was younger, but just because I was locked into this thing, more focused on my mission. Where in the Navy, it's super loose. There's so many variances of the uniform regulation. And especially once you get away from a student instructor scenario, it's just roll your sleeves, don't roll your sleeves. Wear this, wear that. It's kind of chilly, wear a cardigan. Throw on a beanie. If you have a beanie, you got to wear gloves. If you got gloves, you got to wear, you know, you got to wear the parka. Marine Corps, you wear gloves, you wear warming layers underneath, and you don't wear a fucking beanie ever unless it's so goddamn cold. You're gonna know it's time to wear a beanie, but you ain't gonna wear a beanie. So it's crazy. I don't know. I would like to see that. I would like to see something like that. Or or and I know the name of the game is not spending money, not spending money. My beef with that is the things we blow up people with, like bombs, cost a lot of money, and quite often we hit fucking grass fields. So that's my biggest beef with. Oh, we don't want to spend. I think you get like $26,000 as being an E3 in the military. That's atrocious. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You signed up for this shit. You can't sit there and negotiate your salary. But I would like to see if it doesn't, and it won't. But you can always hope. I would like to see a program where, hey, you're not successful in these special programs. They're a volunteer program as well within the volunteer program, and at any point you can quit. That's what they preach. If you didn't make it in that, and then instead of going be regular Navy and hating yourself and painting your brains on the wall, I can speak. Give them an opportunity to go across the street from Coronado and go through Marine Corps boot camp and become an infantry Marine. That would be fucking dope. Because you know what the people that are in SEAL training want to do? They want to fucking be a goddamn warrior. And I'll tell you, I don't care what the fuck you say, there is a huge difference between Marine Corps infantry and everybody else in the fucking world. Marine Corps infantry just has a mentality that when you're surrounded by them, you're like, oh, these motherfuckers are willing to kill shit. And I don't know if it's spooky. I don't know what you want to say, but it's like, oh yeah, these dudes are like fucking fire ants, man. They're gonna take over the shit and they're gonna fucking rip it apart and they're gonna fucking take that building down and they're gonna move it over there and then they're doing that and they're gonna fucking blow that shit up. We're just worker ants, man, with guns, with artillery, with tanks and assets and airstrikes. We fucking destroy shit. So I think some opportunities should be allotted that way. Or down the line, make special operations its own military branch. Somehow, some way you want to be in special operations and you don't cut it physically, will be the special operations logistics dude. And give that dude a tryout every 2 years in order to get back into the physical shit. Just thoughts, because it's like It's like some sort of shady car salesman. What the Navy does to people, and it's you're not successful in buds, which is a very hard thing to be successful in. You're not successful in it. 80% of people aren't. So they really fucking punish you. I'm super duper lucky. I don't know if I have a horseshoe up my ass or I leverage them because my contract's fucked up. I know a good bit of other people from my class showed up to be corpsmen, but I got corpsmen. Dude, I don't fucking know how I would be doing right now if I wasn't a corpsman because potentially there's light in this job that I will get away from this soft ass blue side Navy, put on a Marine Corps uniform again, and be with infantry Marines. I fucking hope so. So, that's what I gotta say about that shit. But I know people that didn't make it through SQT, which is SEAL qualification training, which is about a year. No, it's not a year. It's about 5.5 months after Hell Week. You're in SEAL qualification training. They didn't make it through on something where they got injured, and now they're on a boat. And it's like, damn, dude, you're giving that dude that job? That sucks, man. Why not have him work around the facility so he can, get at it again? It's not the way it goes. Not too stoked on the Navy, but I joined. All I can do is my time. I'd like to stay in, but we'll see where I'm at, how I'm being treated at that time. So, probably it. I think that's about an hour. I think that's about an hour. Yeah. I don't know. Joe Rogan, right?